Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都很难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niuniu with Mr. Tony Reid in the studio. Hi, Tony.
Hey, Niuniu, what's happening? It's good to be here.
It's great to have you here, especially recording a show. One of my favorite shows, Takeaway Chinese. It's the best part of the job, in my opinion.
I think so. This is a really good program for me because I've been really a bad student in terms of studying Chinese, but when I'm on the show, it forces me to use it. And sometimes that you need that situation as a student to learn to, use the language. You got to be in a position where you got to use it.
Yeah, and for me, being able to do a show, talk to you, to our audience, directly or indirectly with video or audio, any of those forms makes me happy. And it's tiny bit happier than being in a meeting. I mean, I know meetings are important. They inform you things in the most effective ways, and they allow you to
Sometimes,
communicate
depending
with
on how they're held, yes.
your colleagues and leaders and bosses. But meetings just don't excite me as actually doing a show.
Well, yeah, I think we put a lot of ourselves in shows, and so it's a way to really express yourself, and that always feels nice. But in the meeting, a lot of times, you can't express yourself. Somebody else is expressing themselves, and you're just kind of there held
Are you calling me
captive.
a bad audience?
No, sometimes you're just a captive in some of those meetings. So.
Well, but I think if we have to find a silver lining for the year 2020 and 2021 with the COVID pandemic, I think that is we found more effective ways to conduct meetings, to communicate with each other, especially there are much more people involved in the meeting, that is online meetings.
Right.
You don't have to be physically together anymore. You can turn on your mic when you are asked to speak, and you can even take notes. Well, in actual physical meetings, you can take notes as well, but it's just with the presentation, with the sound, with the recording function, it's a bit more efficient.
Yeah, some people will debate you on that for sure. Some of these online meetings have been, are pretty notorious as well. But yes, it is nice to where you don't actually have to go to a physical place. You can just be at home in your boxers or in your slippers and chair a meeting.
Yeah, in that case, I think it'll be fun to talk about how to address the key words, some kind of housekeeping expressions in these online meetings, especially in Chinese. That is why it is the topic of today's Takeaway Chinese.
Nice.
So for our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, CRI Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. 我们今天的会议还是在线上进行，链接、账号、密码已经邮件大家了。会议时，请打开摄像头，静音麦克风，做好开会准备。请问今天有没有文字资料啊？有，我已经把本次会议需要提前阅读的内容分享到了群里，供大家参考。如果过程中 有任何问题，欢迎大家留言。
Yeah, kind of a formal instruction for, pretty much attending an online meeting.
And if you're working in China or working your Chinese counterparts here, perhaps you would have to join the same meeting, and now you would know what they're talking about when all of this talks about 麦克风、摄像头、账号密码, all these things. I think these jargon words are actually very useful, especially in this day and age.
Yeah. And there's certain parts that can be used other places, like you said, Nima.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Nima is just password. That's something that can be used for a lot of things, right?
For a lot of things. And that is actually my second point. That is for the second half of the conversation when they're talking about you can leave a comment in the comment area. I feel like I say that sentence quite a lot in my daily life as well to our great friends when they're watching the live stream. I would say, leave a comment. If you have any questions, any constructive criticism, anything you want to say to me, leave a comment in the comment area. So
constructive.
Oh, yeah. So that would be another, let's say, bunch of fun, useful expressions to learn about in today's
Absolutely.
session.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a good show for me.
All right, so let's get started. 我们今天的会议还是线上进行，链接、账号、密码已经邮件大家了。会议时请打开摄像头、静音麦克风，做好开会准备。
Wow, that was super fast. All right, so you said our meeting today is still online. The link, account number, and password have been emailed to everyone. So please turn on the camera and mute the microphone and get ready for the meeting.
Pretty standard, I have to say.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Woman, that's we, right? Or our. Or no, it's just we, right?
Yes.
Yeah, woman does our.
Perfect.
Right? And then 今天的, so today's. 会议, that's meeting.
Meeting, perfect.
还是.
还是.
还是, is that still?
That's still.
Okay.
It suggests that this online meeting have been happening for quite a long time.
Okay. 在线上.
Yep.
Okay. This is 在 means like still or in the present continuous, right?
在 in
something
this
is
case,
happening, right?
在 can be something is happening, continuous, a signal, but here in this sentence, actually 在 carries the meaning of at. Remember, we can also say 我在家, I am at home.
Right.
But this 在 is a more figuratively speaking kind of 在. So it's kind of like saying the meeting is happening at online. We know at is not needed, but 在 is the word suggesting it's in a place, at a place, someplace. And 线上 is online.
线上, right?
Yeah, so 线 is line and 上 is on or up. So 线上 would be online.
Okay. Cool.
进行.
进行.
Yep.
So is this the link?
进行 actually is conducting. So it's progressing. I know if you directly say 我们今天的会议还是线上, it works as well. So it's still online. But 进行 carries the meaning that it is happening or it will happen. I think it's being more precise, using more expressions in a sentence, making it easier to understand with context. Because I heard this one theory that if you're talking to each other face to face, you read each other's facial expression and also a little bit the movement of their lips. It actually helps you understanding what they're talking about. But when you are talking online or on the phone, it's a bit harder to understand. Which is why you need a bit more explanation to put things more in context, if that makes sense, to understand the sentence.
Okay.
So 进行 would be processing.
Processing, and then 连接.
链接.
This is link, right?
Link, perfect.
So 账号, this is the account.
The account, because 账 carries the meaning of account. 号 is a number, because I guess initially this is a series of numbers. That is your account number. Now, of course, we're having different forms of account. It can be letters. It can be letters and numbers and strange marks you'd like to use, but 账号 is the Chinese name for your account.
Okay. And then next we have 密码.
密码.
This is password, right?
It is password. And 密 in Chinese carries the meaning of a secret. And 马 is kind of like code or digit. So a series of code that is secret to you. I mean, only you know the combination. That would be your password, 密码.
Okay, secret code, all right.
Secret code.
And then 已经.
已经.
I think that's already.
Already, perfect.
And then 邮件.
邮件.
邮件, so that's mail.
That's mail. And here, 邮件 is being used as a verb. I have to say, this is not a really standard way of speaking Mandarin or writing Mandarin because
Okay.
邮件 in itself does not have a verb function. But sometimes in Chinese, we say 活用. So 活 is live. And 用 is use. So we're using it like it's a live creature that like it can change forms. So when you're changing the forms of certain words, when you want to use a noun as an adjective or use a noun as a verb, it can actually happen. So here, I know in English, it doesn't strike as hard because mail can be used as a verb. But in Chinese, this is a not pretty standard way of using it. But still translated as mail. 邮件.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, even in English, this sentence is actually a little bit not colloquial. It's more of a something you would see when you're reading or you're about to get onto a website.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit more formal. But 邮件大家.
大家.
大家, this is everyone.
Everyone.
Right? And then 了.
Already.
I
would suggest
会议
already.
会议 is meeting, right?
Meeting.
时
会议时
is
at. It's like during the time. We've learned about 的时候. So when something's happening. So 我吃饭的时候别打扰我. When I am having meal, don't disturb me. So 的时候 would be when something's happening. And 时 is the short form of it.
okay.
So you can say 会议的时候请打开摄像头. During the meeting, please turn on your camera. But if you want to shorten that sentence, saying simply 会议时 during the meeting, when the meeting is happening, works as well.
Okay. So 请 is this please?
It is please.
Okay. 打开
打开.
打开, this is like turn on.
Turn on or open.
Okay.
In Chinese, if you're opening the door, you can say 打开门. And if you're turning on the light, you can say 打开灯. So both turn on and open can be translated as 打开 in Chinese.
That's why some of my friends say, can you open the light? And I'm like, what?
Sometimes, yep, that's the idea. When you're learning one language, it is very easy to think in your mother tongue and then directly translate it to the other language.
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
Well, you understood.
At first I didn't, but after the mistake was
Oh.
made many times, it was like, okay, I think I understand what they're saying.
Good. Okay, so 打开, turn on or open.
All right, and then is it 摄像头?
Perfect. 摄像头.
摄像头, this is a camera.
Camera. So 摄 means to shoot. 相 is a picture. And 头 carries the meaning of head or a certain end. It's kind of like saying the little object that can shoot pictures and shoot videos. So 摄像头 camera.
From your head, huh?
Perhaps for your head sometimes. 摄像头.
Okay. All right, and then next we have 静音.
静音.
So 静音, I think that's the mute, right?
Yep. 静 is to silence or mute. And 音 stands for 声音, sound or voice. So 静音 would be turn off the voice.
Okay,
Mute.
pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
麦克风.
麦克风.
Oh my God, that sounds like microphone.
It does, and it actually is microphone.
All right.
If language is like this, much less problems.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would breeze through Chinese if that was the case. Actually, I don't know if I would be able, I wouldn't even need to speak Chinese because people, if the language is so close to their language, then it works.
I see the joy on your face, and you're imagining that world that does not exist. You still gotta put in the work.
At least not here, it doesn't exist, right?
No, it doesn't. But at least for this word, we're having fun with it. 麦克风, microphone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
做好.
做好.
I think this is...
Make good.
Make good.
做好.
做, is that do?
It is do, but actually 做好. 做好 is not a word per se, but 做好准备 is a set phrase. So 准备, we have get ready for things or prepare. So 做好准备 is prepare things well or do a good preparation for stuff. And here we have 做好开会准备.
Okay, 开会准备. So
Yeah.
开会means
The meeting.
It's
It's
not
conducting the
会议
meeting. 会议 is the meeting. See, you know, 会议 it is the meeting, but 开会 is more like holding the meeting.
Open the meeting.
Or, yeah, start the meeting, open the meeting,
yeah,
attending
'cause-
the meeting, have the meeting being proceed.
Because earlier, yeah, 打开, right? So 开 is
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
open, right?
So we can say 做好开会准备, which means get ready for the meeting, prepare well for the meeting, and you can also say 做好下班准备. I'm preparing to conclude my work and get off work. That's 做好下班准备. So you can say 做好 something 准备, that is to be well prepared for something.
Okay. Wow, that was a lot in that passage.
That is a long passage, but once you master it, you'll be able to say a lot of things in a lot of scenario.
I think so.
Yeah. And then we have the question here. 请问今天有没有文字资料啊?
All right. So this is, are there any written materials today?
Perfect.
So 请问. So this 请 is like an honorific word. It's like
Yes.
a politeness, right?
Yes.
So 请问, that's
May
like
I
a
ask?
May I or excuse me or something,
Yes,
right?
yes. In Chinese, if you want to be polite, of course you can say 不好意思，我有一个问题. Excuse me, I have a question. But if you want to just include the question, you know, in your sentence, you can simply say 请问. So, may I ask?
Did you say 一个问题 or 我有问题?
Sometimes I think I'd like to say 我有一个问题. I have
我有
one
一个
question.
Okay.
If I have one question.
Oh, but you can also say 一个问题.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's good to know. All right. So 请问, may I ask, 今天 that's today.
Uh-huh.
有没有? 有没有? Have, don't have?
Have, don't have.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
whether or not there is.
Okay. 文字.
文字.
So, is this like something written? Or?
Yeah, see, you want to say mosquito, but you didn't. And yeah.
And then 资料.
资料.
资料, so that's materials, right?
Material. So 文字资料 would be written material. Sometimes we would also have 音像资料. So that would be video kind of material. And 视频资料, that's more precisely video material. And 声音资料, voice material. So 资料 is material, and you can have different forms of material.
Okay.
有，我已经把本次会议需要提前阅读的内容分享到了群里，供大家参考。如果过程中有任何问题，欢迎大家留言。
And that was, yes, I have shared the contents of this meeting that need to be read in advance to the group, just for your reference. If you have any questions during the meeting, you are welcome to leave a message.
Yes.
So, 有 means have, or in this case, yes, right?
Uh-huh.
Because the question was,
有没有？
有没有?
Yes.
All right, so 有我已经, so 我 is I, 已经, sorry. 已经 is already.
Already.
把
is the 把字句 signal. We've talked about it. It's the kind of sentence structure that's basically moving the object of your sentence a bit further, so you can stress the object of the sentence. And apparently the object here is 本次会议需要提前阅读的内容, so the content that need to be read in advance.
Okay.
So
this is an emphasis marker.
a little bit like that. So 把字句 is this special kind of sentence form, allowing you to talk about the receiver of the verb first and then the verb.
Okay, so 本次.
本次.
本次. This is this time.
This time.
会议.
会议.
会议, that's meeting.
Meeting.
需要 is need. 提前. This is in advance.
In advance.
阅读的.
阅读的.
阅读的. So 阅读 is read, right?
Read. So this meeting need in advance read 的内容.
内容, so that's content.
Content. So, yeah, I know in English, when you want to say something like as complicated as that, you're going to need a clause describing your noun. But in Chinese, you say the modifying kind of phrase in advance and have the actual noun at the end after 的. So, 本次会议需要提前阅读的内容. And then we have the verb here, 分享.
分享到. This is share.
Share. And
Share, arrive. Is 到 here arrive?
到 carries the meaning of arrive, but I think here what this person is trying to say is share too. I mean, it's arrived because I have already shared it there. It's already there. So, yeah, it's arrived, but I've already shared it into the group.
Okay.
And the group here would be
群里.
Yeah, in the group. 群 is the group and 里 is inside.
All right.
As you can see in the Chinese language, we would have different words suggesting the direction of the verb, and then some words actually used as preposition. So, for example, we say 会议在线上. So the meeting 在 is at, but 线上 is actually already online. So it is online, but you still have the 在 suggesting this is about the location, this is about the direction. And it's the same situation here. 分享 is share, 群 is the group, and 里 is in. So you would imagine, I'm sharing it in the group. I know all the information needed, but we still need a word signaling the direction, signaling the situation, that is the 到. So 分享到群里. It's needed. I know when you translate it into English, it sounds a little bit awkward, and perhaps some people would find it difficult to get the function of these kind of signaling words. But they're vital in Chinese, so perhaps after seeing and learning enough examples, we would be comfortable with it.
Okay.
And then 供大家参考.
供大家参考.
So,
大家 is everyone again, right? 供 here is for, so for everyone. 供大家 is for everyone.
Yes.
参考. 参考, this is reference.
Reference.
So for everyone's reference.
For everyone's reference.
如果, that's if. Yeah. 过程.
过程.
This is process.
Process. So
Okay.
in the middle of the process, 有 have.
有任何, so 任何 is any. And then 问题 is
问题
question.
Yes. So during the process, if you encounter any questions, 如果过程中有任何问题，欢迎大家留言。
欢迎大家. So 欢迎, and this is what people say when you walk into a door, any business establishment. So that means welcome, right?
Welcome.
And then 大家 is everyone.
Everyone.
And then 留言.
留言.
So it sounds like a common name. 留言. So
It can be a name,
yeah,
but
it's a name.
most occasions it will be in different tones and perhaps different characters.
Okay.
Definitely different characters. But 留 carries the meaning of stay or leave. And 言 is language or words. So 留言 is leave a word.
I'll leave a word, leave a message.
Leave a message, 留言. All right, I know it's a lot to digest, many new nouns, new verbs, and occasional sentence structures that we haven't visited for a while. But it can be also very, very useful. And for our dear listeners out there, the perks of this show is that it can come in demand online as long as you search for Takeaway Chinese. So you can listen to it again and again and check our script online so you would know what the conversation is about and how to use these different words.
Very useful.
Your learning process would be much less challenging than Tony's here. All right, so I'm gonna force you to learn everything after this mere 20 minutes of talking, but I will be the one trying the sentence first.
Okay.
我们今天的会议还是在线上进行，链接、账号、密码已经邮件大家了。会议时请打开摄像头，静音麦克风，做好开会准备。
请问今天有没有文字资料啊？
有，我已经把本次会议需要提前阅读的内容分享到了群里，供大家参考。如果过程中有任何问题，欢迎大家留言。 I feel like a very informative robot telling
yeah,
everyone.
Robot for sure.
Right? Telling everyone about the meeting. But at least I am informative. Well, you're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Niu Hongli, and the very intelligent robot, and Tony.
The student that's scratching his head, yes.
He'll be fine, he's learning. Coming up next, let's discuss what makes a productive online meeting. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Hongli with Tony here in the studio. So Tony, I want to ask, are you a fan of online meetings? I mean, not meetings in general, just online meetings compared with offline meetings.
I think they're pretty awesome. I attended one recently and I loved it because, there was you didn't have to have a video. So it was just, as long as you log in, you're technically at the meeting. So I could do other things and I don't have to
So
actually.
the sheer reason that you love online meeting is because you can turn it off?
No, not turn it off. I leave it on, but I'm just not there. I'm just handling my
Right, that's my point. It's like, I love you. It should be on TV. If you're on TV, I can turn you off. It's just, that is not loving online meetings.
Yeah, online meetings are cool for that reason. You can multitask. You can do other things
You
while
should
you're
not.
technically at this meeting.
In Chinese, we say 挂机.
挂机 or 坏人.
No, 挂 is to hand. And 机, talking about the machine. So when you're, for example, talking on the phone, think about the old-fashioned phone. One is hand up on the wall. And as long as you don't put the speaker back on, you're not technically handing somebody up, right? So you can just put it somewhere, you can hand it somewhere. So the person is talking, but you are not there. You're not engaged. And that is the image I always think about when I think of the word 挂机. 挂机 means the machine is on. It looks like you're on, but you are not.
I guess it's like the lights are on, but nobody's home. But that's has the other implications.
Uh-oh. Anyway, so I think what you did was 挂机. So having the meeting on, looking like you were attending it, but
Right.
not.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like for those meetings where you have to show your face, you could just take a picture and post it there. And that way the picture's there. And it's like it's frozen, but...
People are growing. They are asking you to present yourself, turning on the camera, just like in the conversation we've just learned. The reason that they want people to turn on the camera is basically because they want to make sure you're physically there. They cannot assure your mind also being there, but at least they want you to sit in front of the camera and in front of the computer.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But in that case, I want to know, would you dress for the occasion as well? Because nowadays, with a lot of meeting conducting online, a lot of work happening long distance, many people decided to, like you said, stay in their pajamas, sometimes even in bed when they're working from home. But are you, because you always look super smart and very well dressed in the office, I wonder what will happen if you are having the meeting online with the camera on, but at home.
Probably the same. I mean, if my work environment not requires, but if I wear a tie to work, I'll probably wear a tie for the meeting. I can't guarantee that the pants, I'll be wearing slacks. I'll probably be wearing, if that's not in view, then I'll probably wear something a little bit more comfortable, possibly.
Dress for the occasion,
Yeah,
huh?
it really depends. I mean, if it's something that I really need to get my mind right to perform for this meeting, then I may wear the whole get up. But if it's just something where just my face is there and I'm not really contributing to it, then then I might just give them a picture, post it.
That's not good. They're not going to allow you to do that. But for me, I feel like it's almost a new subject, something that people need to contemplate on. That is how to make an online meeting more effective. I mean, making meetings effective in itself is a major topic. We want it to be informative. We want to consider everyone's need. Yet, when you consider everyone's need from the meeting, it's highly likely that you're making the meeting a bit too long, and some people would find some part inefficient and not fun. But online
Absolutely.
meetings can be even harder. So do you have any good tips when it comes to generating a good, productive online meetings?
Well, I think making sure that the people that need to be there are in the meeting and people who do not need to be there, don't have them attend the meeting where they're just sitting there and they have nothing to contribute. That's probably huge, making sure that that is there and perhaps involving people into the meeting. That way it's not just one person, just this monologue for an hour. But if everyone that's attending has some significance, then they need to probably, if it's a progress meeting, then perhaps everyone can quickly state their progress. That way everyone's kind of on the same page.
Yes, and I think having an agenda in advance might help. Letting certain group of people know that the content, the information that they really care about will happen at around 30 minutes into the meeting, so that they can, like what you want to do or what you already did, to have the meeting on 挂机 for a little while. But they're allowed to do that because they've already know the agenda and they know the vital information will come around, for example, 30 or 40 minutes, and they can turn it back on around that time. It can make it more efficient as well. If I am a meeting host, I would like to do that. I want people's soul to be there, not their face, even a picture of their face.
That would be awesome. That's why I'm
Occasionally.
smiling right now, because if I could just post a picture of me just smiling, and so like the whole meeting I just had this grin on my face, and it's like, okay, this guy's definitely not here. It's just a picture of him smiling.
Right. So yes, there's that. Nowadays, a lot of meetings and classes are happening online, and it poses great challenges for the hosts of the meeting and the teachers of the classes. So best luck for them. And even though I love technology, I like it to happen virtually, and working from home is great. I do hope the pandemic conclude as soon as possible, and the physical meeting, really efficient physical meeting, might happen in the future.
Yeah, right. Here's hoping.
That brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Yang Lin with Tony here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column Podcast.
You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and much more. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. And don't forget to leave your comments, ratings, and questions.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.
再见。